Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host, Ninon de Pureza. How about that? I have TrinaMarie
Yes.
with me. She's Miss Nevada. Absolutely gorgeous. You look too young to be a Mrs., but that's okay.
Thank you.
You look far too young. You know. I guess a lot of people have said that you look like Diana Ross.
Oh, hey, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, well, she's a beautiful woman,
Yes.
and so am you. And I
Thank
love
you.
the crown. This is
Thank
also, when did all this happen?
This happened November 6th of 2021,
Okay.
and I'm going to start by saying we are so big about our title. It is United States of America's Mrs. Nevada.
United States of
2022.
Americas of 2022.
Mrs. Nevada 2022,
Mrs.
yes. We're going to get it by the end of the
Nevada.
show.
Yeah, well, no, we've already got it. Don't
Okay.
worry. I think she's going to be taking over. I'll just
No.
sit back and I'll just let her go. Since I don't know anyway, so it doesn't matter. But so when you got this award, first of all, how did you get into it? Because I know there's a kind of a process.
Yeah, really good question. Thank you for that. Actually, in 2020, I said I wanted to do something I said I would never do because I wanted to step outside my comfort zone and grow. And the best way is by doing just that, stepping out your comfort zone. I did not realize that it was going to push me to start talking about something that I said that I would never talk about.
So she never wanted, these are all things she never wanted
Yes.
to do, by the way. So we're going to call this episode, Never Wanted to Do This, but I'm going to go out of my comfort zone.
And great things
And
can
here you
happen.
are. Of course they can. Once you're out of your comfort zone, you don't know what's
Yes.
going to happen.
Yes.
So you got out of your comfort zone twice now.
Yes.
So let's go back to the first one. When you got out of your comfort zone for the first one, which was to go into a competition,
Yes.
which
So
is
I
called a
went-
pageant.
Yes. I did a pageant, met some amazing women that I just love how involved
But she
they
knew
were.
she would never meet unless she was in this.
Well, actually, I met them before, so that's
So
what got
they
my.
got you in there.
Yeah, so that what got
But
my
now
attention.
you're out of your
Yes.
comfort zone.
Now I'm out of my comfort zone, not completely, but I'm almost out of my comfort zone.
No, we're talking
Almost.
about not now. We're talking about then. Then you were really out of your comfort zone because you didn't know what was going to happen. Had you ever been in a pageant before?
I have not since the first time I was in a pageant was 2020.
Oh, it's just a couple of years
Yes.
ago. Okay. And did you win that one?
I did not. I kind of said I
And
wanted
why
to
didn't
just.
you win? I can't
You know
believe
what?
it,
Because
but
the truth is, I didn't give it 100% because I was still a little leery. I'm gonna be completely honest, because you hear kind of negative things. So I said, I just want to kind of feel this out. I'm gonna be completely honest. I just want to feel
in front
this
of all
out.
these people, I'm going to feel
Yes,
this out.
I'm just gonna feel this out. Yes. Sometimes you do that. Sometimes you got to take baby steps.
Well, yes. Sometimes you do
Yes.
have to take baby steps. But when you go out on that stage and you're the only person on the stage and you're performing, even if it's just walking out there, that can be terrifying. But with all the panic things that are inside of you and the anticipation, that's what you use. And that gives you the strength
Yes.
out there to do what
Yes.
you're doing, because you do
Yes.
ridiculous, silly things when you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know
Yes.
what you're supposed to do, or you're trying to copy the last person that walked out there, and you really don't want to copy them, because if they're not that good, you don't want to copy them.
Right. Right.
So,
You know what the interesting thing is that when I got on the stage, it's like I came to life though.
that's what
I had
happens.
so much fun, and I said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna do this again, but I'm gonna give it 200%."
Yes, you have to
Yes.
give everything your
Yes.
full percent.
Yes.
Now, when you went out the first time, what did you actually do? Did you sing? What did you dance?
So there wasn't a talent. It's really big about being involved with the community, having a platform.
Okay.
It's one an interview, so you had to,
Be
meet
interviewed.
judges,
Yeah.
be interviewed. They ask you questions, and then there's also the on-stage question, as well as your evening gown, and you swim.
Wow. So, and you have to swim.
Swimsuit. I should say.
Oh,
Swimsuit.
swimsuit. I was going to
Yes.
say, you could go to the pool and start swimming.
Swimsuit. Yes.
I would win that one because I would, because one time I had an underwater swimming ex, so I know all about swimming. So yeah, I did some crazy time of my life. But anyway, so you didn't win that one, but you probably weren't prepared to win it anyway because it was kind of an experience.
Right.
So it was a great
Right.
experience for
It
you.
was a great
So what gave you the courage for the second one and to become a winner? What did you do that was so different?
I invest a lot in myself. I work with some outstanding coaches. The pageant world is completely different, so I didn't really know what to do. even though I didn't have a problem like getting dressed up and doll, that's just a small inkling of it. And continue to define my voice and kind of drilled into my platform, which is sparkle, turning darkness into light. And I'm a really
Sparkle,
big turning darkness into light.
I like that.
Thank you.
We need a lot of that right now.
Yes. Oh, we do.
We need a lot of
We
that
need a
darkness
lot of it.
and
Yes.
light. And,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
So I'm big about eradicating stigmas associated with mental health. I think we're doing a better job with creating more awareness around it, but I want to put focus in. If we don't remove the stigma, people are not going to ask
But
for
what
help.
is the stigma about mental health? Because I think one of the stigmas is this, everybody's thinking, oh, they all take drugs, they're all on drugs, they're all on drugs, they're all on
Yeah,
drugs.
no,
You know.
that's
And
right.
that's what
That is
made
a stigma.
them.
Right, that's a stigma. They're addicted to something.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with them, and reality,
We don't want to associate with them.
you don't want to, right?
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
but
we can see people as weak, right? They're not strong enough. They're not ready for the next position in
you
their
seem to
life.
count drugs as a detriment to that person that doesn't have control of themselves, and they're just taking it to get high or to a better life or to be lazy or not do all this. And sometimes, a lot of the time, it is not that. A lot of the time, it's a mental thing that maybe they're born with. Is that true?
Sometimes they're born with it. Sometimes it's trauma.
Just created.
It's created from trauma, and
Yes.
trauma people don't realize is anything that changes your perception on life or how you view yourself.
Okay.
Anything. So it
So
can happen
what is
anytime
your
in your
main
life.
focus on what you want to do to change it? Because this is a big thing
It
out
is
there.
a big
I mean,
thing,
we've got
yes.
opioids, we've got all sorts of crazy stuff that everyone's taking.
Right. And people take opioids and are addicted to things because they don't want to feel the pain, right? So it's that mental illness. So they take something to numb
And
it.
it,
They don't realize it a lot of times before it becomes an addiction,
okay.
right? But then once it becomes an addiction, they just...
How do you
they
know
wanna take
about
it.
all this stuff?
I do have a master's in human services.
So now we're getting to the nitty gritty of it. Now we're getting.
Yes. And I do a lot of research. My mom suffered from a mental illness when I was younger, and so did my grandmother. They didn't have the experience of being addicted to a drug, but they did have.
Well,
a
those
serious
days
mental
nobody
illness.
had an illness. Nobody was anything. Nobody did have these problems.
No one talked about it.
They had them, but
Nobody
nobody talked about it.
Yes. And even now, even though we're talking about it a little bit more, we still don't talk about it enough. Because do you know that we lose someone to suicide every 40 seconds in this world?
We lose. Yes, I know that the suicide is in the younger generation and children is very, very high.
Yes, right now. And in the older generation. And in LGBTQ communities. Yes. And in minority communities are starting to rise too. But the elder generation
Is
and
this
the young...
because of the medication they're taking as guiding them to commit suicide?
That's a good question.
I know.
We're going to leave that for
I always have
people.
good
Yes,
questions.
that's a good one.
Well, if you take too much of something and you're sort of all up and high and you're in the top of a building and you feel you can walk off the
Yeah.
building, well, guess what?
You have to be careful to read what the side effects are, and that's the problem.
Well,
sometimes,
everything has side effects. I don't care what you take. Even an aspirin, you have side
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah, I'm not an advocate of taking medication at all if you don't have to. If you
Yes.
have to, that's one thing. So I don't want to say don't take medication.
So this is what you're dealing with, the mental people. I love your shoes, by the way.
Thank you.
So you're dealing with these mental, so
Yours
what
too.
is, thank you. So what is the guidance? What can you advise in the camera? So what, if people have got this problem, what's the best thing for them to do now to help them so they don't have to take these pills?
So I always say that, the first thing is you got to go talk to someone. You need to talk to someone who's licensed, who's an expert. So a therapist, a psychologist, whatever.
Well, what happens if they don't want to do that? Forget the doctors. What if there
A
was
counselor, but you have to talk to someone.
Why can't they just talk to somebody, anybody without a degree?
Well, here's the thing, you can, but
Because not everybody wants
when
that,
not
or
even,
can afford it.
well, you can talk to your friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But remember, they're not licensed. They're not specialized in
I know, but
helping
they
you
can
get
still
over.
try to,
They can be there to listen,
yeah.
but if you really want to
Well,
grow
you
and
can
get
talk
help,
one-on-one. You can talk one-on-one.
yeah. But if you really want to grow, let's just say if you
Oh,
really,
really
want to
wanna
grow,
grow,
if you
okay.
really want to push and say, you know what, I don't know why I'm like this. Whether it be you're codependent, right? You're like or you always pick someone bad in a relationship. It could. A lot of times it's a reason why.
Relationship. You choose it because you're lonely and you want someone and it's the wrong person you choose.
But you keep choosing the wrong person, but you want a serious relationship and you're trying to figure out why. You need to talk to someone that's going to help you uncover some things.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
So there's
yeah.
things that may have happened in your childhood or later that is a reason why you're attracted to.
These type of
Yes.
people. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So is it most of it? Is it in the childhood? Is it the development of the first 5 years?
Those are critical. Those are critical years. They're definitely critical years, but it can happen at any time.
Yeah.
It can happen. So you can get to high school, you can get to college, you can graduate, you can whatever.
Are you doing this right now?
I am. So I actually work, I'll go to schools and I'll teach the youth. I teach life coping skills. When you ask about resources,
Yes.
that's one thing too, is we need to be able to know life coping skills, all of us. And it needs to be taught no later than the 3rd grade.
Okay.
And starting preschool, these kids need to be taught how to identify and recognize their emotions and know why they're angry or they're upset. Because
in a younger age, so they can kind of change it a little bit.
it would help them with the life coping skills, so that when things happen or something, someone says something to them, or like I said, some type of trauma happens to them, they'll be able to have better life coping skills, and they'll be able to know, you know what, I'm not doing okay, and that's okay.
But if you're a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, you don't know you're not doing okay, do you?
That's why a lot of them, they're angry.
Yeah.
Right? They get into fights and they don't know. They're upset.
I haven't been a 5-year-old for a long time. Don't know what goes on there. I would imagine in this day and age it's very dramatic, I would think. I don't know. So anyway, so you work and you help this all. Now, back to the pageant.
Yes.
So when you went to the second pageant and you won, did you have to sing? Did you have to do a talent?
No talent.
No talent is involved. Community.
50% on stage. Our interview is just as important.
So how many women were in this?
Sounds like a question. It's about maybe about 15.
15 women.
Yeah.
So you were competing with 15 women.
Different
bad enough to competing with one woman. Never mind 15 of them.
Yes. So there's different divisions too.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's different divisions of it. So when they called, how many did they have on stage to call out who was going to be the winner? Because they call up the third and the second and then the...
Yes.
Yes. So how were you when they were doing all this? And you weren't called out for number 3 and you weren't called out for number 2. It was coming up to the winner.
Well, I would just say that the entire process, for me, I pray a lot, so it was just very grateful. Yeah.
Now, what you have to do, because I understand you have to do quite a lot of work when you have to attend a lot of stuff and do a lot of stuff. Is it a lot of work?
Yes, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to say that it's not, but nothing good comes easy.
Yeah, you have to go to all these different functions.
And do
you have to talk at some of these functions? You have to talk and give a little story and a little something of...
Yes.
Of what they want.
Depending on the function, yeah. Sometimes you're talking, you're networking, then also too, what are my responsibilities too to help grow the pageant? And I think the pageant is fantastic. So I'm always talking to young ladies too about why they should do a pageant. And you'll be surprised. A lot of people like me were like, no, until I started sharing my story. Then it actually gets their attention and they're interested. I already got like 3 people I'm already recruiting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So when you're Mrs. Nevada right now, are you Mrs. Nevada 2022?
Yes. United States of America, Mrs. Nevada.
United States of Americas. Not America, Americas.
Thank you. Yes.
Clarify that.
Yes.
Oh, nice of America. No, Americas.
No, Americas,
yes.
Yes.
Somewhere there.
Yes.
Absolutely. So when is your term up?
No. Ideally, it's going to be November of this
year.
So
you're all the way till November. You still got a whole,
I
6,
still
7,
have
8 months to go yet.
And then I'm competing for the national title, United States of America's Mrs. So to represent the great United States of America.
United States of America.
In February. The 16th, the 19th.
That's next month. No, this month. No, it's February already. Holy shoot, yes. In
13 days, less than 2 weeks.
And what do you have to rehearse for that one? Because that's pretty big.
Same, so this one includes a costume. So we have to we're putting together a costume, but then we practice.
Well, you can't tell.
You have to come to the show and find out.
No, because if she tells, then somebody else might choose the same thing.
Very true. And it is exciting to see. I think that's one of the favorite parts a lot of people say is they're wondering what the girls...
You can go as Diana Ross.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about
Diana Ross. I mean, with the gown and the whole bit of the sparkle.
Yes.
I interviewed her daughter, Wanda Ross.
You?
Yes, I did. Some time ago. Lovely lady. Beautiful lady. And But I've seen Diana Ross's show many times. I think she's the most incredible performer, as of from young until now. An incredible performer. If there's anything you wanted to wish for right now, what would it be?
That people will start to really change their perception on the way that they view mental health, because it will make a difference in the world, and it will help reduce suicide. People have to know that it's okay to not be okay. They just can't unpack their bags and stay there. They have to ask for help. But in order to do so, they have to feel empowered, inspired, and encouraged to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So get encouragement out there and sort of just go ahead and do it. I mean, I know that a lot of people are looking at us, and a lot of people are going to sort of, criticize us, but that doesn't matter, because it'll only make you better, won't it?
Right.
Give you the encouragement
Yeah.
and help you feel better, and drop all those pills.
Yes,
I'm a big pill
but
thing,
here's
drop
the
it.
thing. Sometimes when people, they call them trolls on the internet and keep saying negative things, it does beat up on you. It does tug at your heart, and it does bring you down.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying, we still have to destigmatize mental health and realize that it's okay not to be okay, and we have feelings.
It is okay not to be okay.
Yes.
Just make yourself better. One of the greatest things you can do is go to your bedroom. I always say, go to your bedroom, just sit on your bed or the chair or whatever, and just sit. You don't have to be thinking of anything, nothing.
And
but
journal.
That's one of the, what's that?
And journal.
Journal what?
Write your feelings out. I believe in journaling.
This is a time. Yeah, this is a time when you don't do any of this. This is a time when you clear your mind. You don't have to do anything, and just go in there and just relax and just think of anything you want to think of, and don't. And just because your bedroom is actually the most tranquil place, or it should be in the house.
It should be.
When you go to bed at night, clear your mind of everything.
Yes. No working in the bed.
And just love yourself.
Yes, just love yourself.
Just love yourself.
Yes.
How can anybody reach you?
They can reach me. You can find me at my blog, beingTrinaMarie.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to give you 2 social handles: my USOA Miss Nevada and Being TrinaMarie. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely, it's great having you, and I love what you do. You're doing 2 things. You're encouraging with the pageants, and you're also helping our mental health people out there, mentally ill, and stop them from all these suicides and everything, because everybody out there is worth something. Everybody. And everybody out there has a talent. You might not have recognized it yet, but you have a talent. It might be something you don't want to do, but sometimes your talent will get you out of the rut you're in of something you don't like to do. And sometimes you've got to do that. Sometimes you've got to do what you don't like doing. I've done it many, many times. You have to do something you don't like doing to get you to the next level.
But
do it. But do it. Don't worry about it. And don't worry about what other people think.
Yes.
Unless they're paying your rent and paying everything, and they're giving you the life of luxury, then maybe you'll give them a second look. I don't know. Anyway, don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe and do all the above. And to social media shows, absolutely amazing. We're doing very, very well. We're on this great big thing, which is streaming. We do a lot of streaming with all the shows and everything, doing extremely well, because that's the new thing coming out and everybody's doing it. And don't forget Mariposa Restaurant. It's on Sahara, and I think it's Decatur. Yeah, it's Decatur. It's right here on Decatur and Sahara. The food is amazing. The ambiance is wonderful. It's absolutely great. They have happy hour, I believe, from 3 o'clock till 7. They have a long happy hour, which is absolutely fabulous. We'll be right back with our next guest. You take care.